Cleaning the house for Pesach could be one of the more stressful parts of this very beautiful holiday. And unfortunately, with all the work that Baruch Hashem, men and women, especially the women, put into it, it can lead to a lot of frustrations and a lot of unnecessary arguments in the home because everyone's trying to do things that maybe are not an obligation and they don't even realize it's not an obligation. So today, B'ezras Hashem, we'll try to go through some of the basic rules of cleaning for Pesach. What is an obligation? What's a nice thing to do? What is a must to do? And we'll go through this very quickly, and hopefully you'll have a better understanding and appreciate these halachot in a better fashion. First things first. Chametz is what we're looking for, and chametz is what we're trying to destroy. Everything else that we do in the house is nice. It makes the house look beautiful for the Chag, but it's not a must. So when women want to come and clean out the windows inside out, and they take the chandeliers and they're making nice and shiny, and they're taking all the curtains and putting in the laundry, Chazaq, Baruch, beautiful. You're beautifying the house for the beautiful Chag of Pesach. Amazing. Not an obligation, however. A person is obligated to get rid of chametz. Chametz is what we are searching for and looking to destroy. With that being said, we got to make sure that chametz is the primary objective, and everything else is going to be the secondary objective. Otherwise, people come into the holiday, they're very, very famished and tired and exhausted, and they cannot enjoy it because they were, Baruch Hashem, very, very into it for the past 2, 3, 4 weeks. So the first rule is know what you're looking for, what your obligations are. Now that you know your obligation is chametz, what kind of chametz are we looking for? You see, sometimes you may have chametz that's behind the heater system, and people want to open up the heaters, and they start breaking it apart, and they start taking toothpicks and trying to clean it up. What are we concerned about? You're going to eat the chametz in the heaters? Do you ever open up the heaters? You're not going to open it up. Leave it as it is. It's not edible. It's not visible. It's not reachable. These are not things you're obligated in. You want to get rid of chametz are in areas that you could potentially, chas v'shalom, come to eat or come into contact with on Pesach. The kitchen area is something you must be careful even of crumbs. But when we say kitchen area, we're talking about the madafim, the cabinets, we're talking about the refrigerators, we're talking about the areas around the counter. But you don't necessarily have to move the stove. The stove is not something you move. The stove is sitting there all year round. You don't have to start inching it out back and forth, taking it out, then you see nothing but dust and some maybe crumbs over there. That's not an obligation. You want to do that, Chazaq Baruch, but it's not a chovah. You want to make sure there's no chametz accessible in areas where you may come into contact with it. With that being said, one area which is very, very important to take care of is children's clothing, children's knapsacks, and even adults' clothing. You know, what if the person has, Baruch Hashem, 20 suits, or he has many shirts and pants and dresses? Does he have to actually take each and every suit and turn the pockets inside out to clean it for Pesach? Or can he do a simple tap search? The Poskim discuss this topic very in depth, going back and forth. And la halacha, the following is the proper approach. Any clothes you plan on wearing for Pesach, you set it aside. Clothes you don't want to wear for Pesach, you put it on the other side. The ones you don't want to wear for Pesach, all you have to do is tap the clothing to make sure there's no tangible chametz over there. We're not concerned about crumbs. Zelo chashuv. We're not concerned about the crumbs. You check to make sure there's nothing there. No candies or cakes that you have left over or cookies that you have in wrappers. Make sure everything is clear of chametz. You take that suit, you put it aside. You take those pants, put it aside. Clothes that you do want to wear on Pesach, however, you got to actually take the shirts and the pockets and you got to turn it upside out, meaning inside out, excuse me. You got to take the pockets of the suit and the pants and the dress inside out to make sure not even crumbs are there. Why? What are we concerned about? Because maybe on Pesach you'll be eating with your friends and family, and as you're eating, you stick your hands in the pocket to take something out, and some of the crumbs that get stuck, and then you're eating it with your matzah. Chametz b'Pesach afilu b'mashu. Even a small amount of chametz is asur on Pesach. So therefore, clothes that you want to wear, you got to make sure it is absolutely free of any chametz, of crumbs, of anything. Clothes you don't plan on wearing on Pesach, you got to make sure there's nothing there tangible, but we're not concerned about little specks of chametz. Now, if you put those clothes in the laundry, you take your clothes, you put them in the laundry, that's a different ballgame. Why? Because now the laundry detergent usually takes the chametz that may be in your pocket and it makes it nifga ma'achilat kelev. It's not something that even a dog could eat. it totally destroys the taste of this chametz. So this really only applies with open goods, like if you have a cookie in your pocket, that's not in a wrapping. But if it's wrapped up in its original seal, or candies that have a plastic wrapping, obviously that won't help out. But in terms of any chametz that may be in your pocket that's not wrapped, then the laundry takes care of it, and you will not have to check those clothes at all. So again, as a quick review, we're trying to get rid of chametz. If you want to beautify the house, and you want to clean up and scrub the walls and all the different ceilings and all the lightings and all the windows, God bless you. You're making the house like royalty. It looks beautiful for the Chag, but that's not an obligation. The chovah is to search for chametz, and Bezrat Hashem, when we're searching for chametz, you're fulfilling the mitzvah. But we must keep in mind that besides searching for chametz and cleaning the chametz in our house, we must do an internal search. Look for a little chametz inside of us, maybe anger, maybe we have some jealousy, maybe we have issues at home. Shalom bayit. Let's try to see if we can get rid of that chametz from within us. So Bezrat Hashem, when we come into Pesach, clean, both physically and clean spiritually as well.